Hello and welcome to Tea and a Butty podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And on today's episode, we're following on from the last one we did, which was about British stereotypes. And I'm going to be giving my verdict on American stereotypes to see if they're true or not.
And I will be saying whether he's right.
Oh, indeed. Indeed. So, what do you think? Are there any American stereotypes out there? Do you think anybody thinks of America as having a stereotype?
Yeah, I think the biggest American stereotype is that we're loud. We're loud and obnoxious.
Can't hear you because, you just made me deaf with how loud you are. So, without further ado, let's go.
Yes. So we're getting this list from theinsider.com.
The Insider. And are they on the inside? We don't know.
We don't know. But the first one is that
we're all hardcore.
In America, we're all hardcore patriots.
I'd have to say that's a half and half question. I mean, there's not everyone here waves the flag people wave the flag and go, USA, USA all the time, and it's just kind of like, oh God. Because it's seen with a negative viewpoint in Britain because people who are like that about Britain are usually racist people.
Yeah.
And they're usually like,
England
like first and get their people out of the country. Right. Yeah, get them all. Get all them foreigners and liberals out of here.
It's sort of the way people use the Confederate flag over here.
Yes, I mean, that's how it's seen. So, but people are just patriotic. They love their country. Mm-hmm. They'll do the stars and stripes and whatever on their faces, and then. You go to a 4th of July celebration, fireworks are going off, and you hear people going, America! America!
America!
America! Yeah! Yeah, America! And, it's just kind of like, oh my God, are they doing it as a joke? But some of them are and some of them aren't. The ones who are going, America! Aren't, usually.
Hardcore, I don't know, but I would say...
Hardcore, mate.
Yeah, but I would say probably most, as a whole, we're pretty patriotic. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I'm defending my right to be an American.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of us
I've got to defend my right against the commies. The commies are coming.
I think even those of us who don't consider ourselves like super patriotic, we don't have a flag hanging on the outside of our house and stuff. If we went to another country and people were like dissing our country like hardcore, I think most of us would be like, wait a minute, America's pretty cool. We like America. We would defend it, which I would expect a British person or whoever to defend their country too, because it's like, that's where you live. Why do you live there if you don't like it,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. I've never really encountered such, like, British people, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
I haven't really encountered that much over here. I've encountered some people saying stereotypes and stuff, and it's just a bit eye-rolling, but yes. We'll move along now. From the patriotism.
Like asking you if you all know the Queen.
Yes, that kind of stuff.
Sick to death of that.
People asking me if I know the Queen and can I have a number and all this crap. And have I been knighted? What's a knighthood? What's a shilling? What's a shilling is another stereotype. It's like, people think shillings, it's like, oh, I've got my shillings.
People think British people still
use shillings. Pounds, shillings.
People don't even know what a shilling is.
Yeah. What's a shilling? Do I have to have a shilling? It's like shilling went away in 1971, mate.
The next American stereotype, is that we're really loud.
Really loud! And that is true. That is true. I mean... But yes, you're really loud.
Yeah.
You're really loud. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say that's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like, give me some examples.
I mean, just talking over each other.
Yeah.
That's a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking over each other, and you're in a restaurant, right? And there's like a din of conversations, and you always hear someone go, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah." Oh. And it's just like, who are you talking to? And the other person is right there. It's just kind of like so British people can be loud and obnoxious, and French people, whatever, German people.
French people.
You know, it's just like,
come from?
well, British people, French, German, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, it's just kind of like, but Americans are pretty much, American tourists are known for that. You know, they're on the tube, everyone's silent. They're just like, so where are we going? Buckingham Palace?
I thought, okay, let me just do a little story time here.
You're going to do the Cockfosters story, aren't you?
Oh, no? Okay.
That's another one. Well, just do your story, and then we'll do the Cockfosters story.
No, I just thought, I mean, I've been accused of being loud sometimes, but by my own mother, so, you know. Not by
right here.
Not by anybody, like, that doesn't know me. So, you know.
Usually it happens when you get excited. You get excited, you get louder and louder, and it's just like, oh God. And you say the same thing. You say it's happening to me, but I'm just like, no. I mean, I'm kind of keeping it.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Have a listen to our previous podcast and tell me whether Dominic is loud or not. Let me know. Just tweet me. Give me a little tweet
I'm not
and
loud,
let me know.
I'm just very obnoxious. Thank you. Good night.
No, I've always heard this stereotype. I mean, I think this is, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I think this is the biggest American stereotype. And I just always thought, well, I mean, it's like some people are and some people aren't, you know, just like anywhere else. Like you said, Germans.
Oh, I know what story you're going to do
French,
now.
Germans, French, British, Americans, whatever. Some people are loud, some people aren't loud. It just depends on the person. Okay, so a few years ago, we went on this trip to Spain, and we were with Dominic's dad, and we went to Gibraltar, which is
everybody.
a British, what would you say, territory?
Territory, yeah.
It's a British territory.
Crown Protectorate.
So you get there, and it's attached to Spain. It's down on the very little tip, and it's like, I think they call it a rock, right? It's
the
like
rock,
the rock,
yeah.
The rock of Gibraltar.
Welcome to the rock.
Yeah, so, you get there and it's like Spain, 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 Spain. And then boom, all of a sudden it's like you're in Britain, except for it's like, feels like the weather is like Spain.
Yes. Well, it's you know, it's contested all the time. Spain want it back.
But it's a really nice little place.
Never going to get it back because the monkeys won't let you have it.
Great weather, monkeys roaming. The streets look like how you want how an American wants British places to look. Like, it looks really great. It's like this is like a place you want to go. And if you have never been to Gibraltar, I highly recommend it. It's really, I liked it a lot. Anyway, we went into, I don't even know, Marks and Spencer's, wasn't it? I don't know what I was looking for.
It was a Marks and Spencer's that you randomly went in. I never went in. I was outside with my dad.
We didn't go to Britain that year, so I think I was looking for maybe Hobnob creams or something. I don't know. I was just like, oh, this is British. You know, we're in Britain, in quotation marks here, so maybe they have whatever British stuff we're looking for. So I went in Marks and Spencer's, which is a grocery store / like department store, right?
Yeah.
In Britain.
It's kind of upmarket.
Yeah. And I don't know what I was looking for. I can't remember specifically. And all of a sudden, I hear, "We're back here in the chocolate." And I'm just like, oh my God. And they're like screaming across the store. Somebody's looking for whatever their names were. The guy's like,
a cruise ship had just docked.
Oh my God.
So it was full of Americans.
And
it was because I went into another shop then later on. There was a guy going like that. There's a lot of dolphin stuff around here.
Must be a thing.
Must be a thing around here. Yeah. I don't know. Where are we? He did say, "Where are we?" I was like, "What do you think? Why did you get off the ship?" You know?
But yeah, like this guy was looking for his people, and they're screaming across the store to each other, "We're back here with the chocolate!" Whatever. And they're like screaming, and their American accents are just like standing out above everybody. And I'm like, OMG, like the stereotypes are true. Yeah, so that was my biggest.
They left us in the chocolate.
They left us in the chocolate. Oh God, I was just cringe.
And then you seen Matthew Perry, didn't you? And he walked around the corner, and he was like, "Oh my God!"
Yes. But yeah, so the loud thing, it's true.
It's true, yes. It's very true. The next one is we're all obese. No, that's not true. That's just like that's related to like the fast food thing,
Yeah.
You all eat fast food. I mean, that's probably another stereotype coming up, but yeah. I don't
No, so you don't.
I don't agree with that at all, because I've seen a lot of I've seen obese Americans. I mean, I've seen obese British people.
Right.
I've seen, thin Americans and thin British people. It's just kind of come from that. Oh, they all eat fast food, McDonald's, and they drive in their cars all the time, so they're lazy, so they're just fat all the time.
I mean, you've spent most of your time in America in cities.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a difference, because a lot of people who live in cities are more health conscious. They tend to be more health conscious anyway. There's more availability to go jogging and have personal trainers and have gyms and stuff like that, as opposed to people who live in small town America. So, I mean, I guess, your perspective might be a little bit skewed, but I think it's just it's about half and half.
It's about half and half again,
And I think that's
lots of Americans care about their health and fitness, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean,
health and
especially
fitness.
here where we live in Austin, all you have to do is go down to Town Lake and you see it's packed with people jogging and cycling. So the next stereotype is that Americans are all dumb.
No, I mean, again, that's half and half. I mean, really, it's just gonna, I mean, it's like half and half. I mean, it's kind of like, on certain things there's ignorance. It's not dumb. It's just ignorance.
Yeah.
On a lot of things. So I guess I could change it. We're all dumb / ignorant. And I have run across ignorance, I mean, but it's like, again, with British people who you'd think were ignorant, but actually aren't, and they know things. I mean, it's just basically ignorance about Britain and maybe the rest of the world too. It's just kind of like, oh, I don't know where England is on a map, or it's kind of there.
Don't know and don't care.
Don't know and don't care,
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, yeah, that's a bit sad. You don't care about anything else but, your own little life.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Obviously, we're not all dumb. That's just
no, that's just.
But if you're talking about world knowledge or political or current events around the world, then yeah, you could maybe say that we're dumb in that way, because we don't keep up with it. We don't keep up with it, but also we're just not exposed to it in television, on the internet. All of our news stories are very America-centric.
Yes, it's all about America. It's all about America. And it's like anything that's coming in from another country has got to be like, oh, well, we've got to make this American so it's familiar to American audiences.
Yeah.
Whereas in Britain, that wouldn't really happen. If you get a French film, just stick some subtitles on, it's still French, you know?
I mean, you kind of have to seek out things from around the world if you're in America.
You do have to seek it out,
It's not just put out there for us. So, I mean, in that way. But obviously, there's a lot of Americans who go to college, who get degrees, who are very well educated in, medicine and technology and all of that kind of stuff. But, world knowledge, I'd say, unfortunately, kind of true in that sense. Yeah. Sadly. Oh, the next one is we're over the top cheerful. I don't know.
I'd say, I mean, this is kind of like from movies and stuff, the stereotype stems from, you see like waitresses in movies and stuff, and they're always like, hey, can I take your order? Oh, hi, how are you today? Checker's like, oh, great, yeah, everything's great, everything's fine, it's sunny, it's brilliant, how are you? I'm feeling good, just all that bubbly cheerfulness, whereas in like Britain, you must say, what's going on here then? Hello, yeah, it's just not really people are more sour, you know. In Britain, that's maybe another stereotype, but I don't know. But, you know, it's over here, like, waitresses, on the whole...
Waitresses are not a good example because waitresses are being cheerful and friendly because they're hoping to get tips from you.
But there you go. That's the stereotype.
It's not like they're just like super nice.
And of course,
people,
you have the tourist. It's like it's an older lady, you know, or an older man, and they're all just like, "Hey, we're on holiday. We're on vacation. We're having a great time. You know, what's going on? We got our money. Oh, how are you, darling? You know."
Yeah.
And it's. You know, I'd say that's again, it's, you know, not always, you know, always cheerful, you know. Some you can be down in the dumps and.
I mean, I don't know.
Feeling sick.
I don't know if is this a real stereotype? I mean, is this a thing you've heard about America before?
Yeah, I mean,
cheerful? Because I don't know. Is cheerful the same thing as friendly?
Friendly, kind of, yeah, you know. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, to me, friendly is a stereotype that Americans are super friendly. And I think it's probably a true stereotype, and I don't see anything wrong with that, really. I mean, you experience, especially down here in the South.
West Texas.
And in Texas, yeah, we're just taught to be polite, and so part of that politeness
yes, ma'am.
Translates
yes,
to friendliness,
sir.
and just friendliness with strangers and all of that. I mean, you experienced that the very first time you came to even visit before you even moved here. And we went for a walk, and some guy drove by in his truck or something and waved at me, and I waved at him, and you were just like, "Oh, do you know him?" And I was like, "No, I don't know."
Why
him.
did you wave at him then?
I was like, "Because he waved at me."
Yeah, now he knows, doesn't he? Now he knows you're going to wave back. You've ruined it all now.
That's what we do here, you know. But yeah, I think the friendliness is part of, you know, that we're taught to be polite, and being polite is friendly go hand in hand. Cheerfulness, I guess it's all the same thing, really, but it's not a bad stereotype. It's not
really. It's not a bad stereotype.
Do you find that annoying?
No, I don't find it annoying, but I suppose if you're in a bad mood, or if you're in a sullen mood or something, and someone's being cheerful all the time, it does grate. Because it's just like, it
grates, but you know what? Psychologically, it also helps bring you out of the bad mood, realistically.
Psychologically, I suppose so, it does, yes.
That's proven. Like,
proven.
You can't just continue to be down in the dumps when someone's being, like, super nice and friendly to you.
But we can be suspicious of why they're being nice and friendly to us and wonder, what are you really, come on, what are you up to, you know? The next one.
The next one is that we're all obsessed with guns in America. Yeah,
that's true. It's a true one. We're all obsessed with guns. Erica cannot stop talking about guns. She wakes up, she's got to go buy a gun today. And I said, that's your fourth in an hour.
That's your fourth this week.
It's like obsessed with guns. I mean, that stereotype is not true. I mean, it's estimated around 1/3 of U.S. citizens own a gun.
Yeah. You know, I didn't really...
And it's the news cycles and stuff that exist, you know, like, oh, there's been a mass shooting. I mean, and it's like, oh, I got my Second Amendment, you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's stories and stuff like that, and people around the world know about these things that have happened over here. But I just didn't know that people in other countries, I didn't know that they think that we're all obsessed with guns. Yeah. I didn't realize that they literally think we're all walking around with a gun, you know,
or obsessed with,
because
like, you
one time I went to Britain. I can't remember the situation now exactly, but we were in the pub, and this guy, and I was talking to this guy, and he asked me, it's been a few years now, so sorry, my memory is fuzzy about this. But he asked me, I think he asked me, do we all have guns or something like that? And I was just like, no. You know, he was not joking. He was like serious, like, oh,
you all have
guns. You all carry guns around with you all the time, you know? And I was like, I don't live in the Wild West, you know, like with a gun hanging off my hip. Like, you know. I was just like, no, we don't have guns. What are you talking about? And he was just all like, oh, yeah, I thought, oh, because I think he said something about he would be scared to come over here because we're all walking around with guns or something like that. It was something like that. And I was just like, you don't have to be scared to come over here. Like,
well, you know, no
shoot
kids,
you know.
Kids in school, I remember going, you know, it's like, oh, I want to go to America someday. It's like, why do you want to go? Oh, you know, it's like drive-by shootings. You don't want to go over there because it's drive-by shootings.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I'd heard of it, like, you know, like Tupac was killed in a drive-by shooting and all that kind of stuff, you know, but it was just kind of like, I was smart enough to know.
Tupac.
What do you say?
Tupac.
Tupac. Tupac the singer. That's what they used to call him. Tupac the singer.
Tupac the singer, yeah.
Yeah. I knew that, you know, it wasn't true. You know, it wasn't like Americans were going around shooting each other from their cars all the time, you know. It's just like random, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, no, but that kind of like thing persisted in the UK, you know, like, oh yeah, drive-by shootings, people just going around shooting people because they'd seen it in movies and stuff, you know. That's not true.
Yeah.
And it just made people afraid to go to America. So watch out for them because they've got guns. They're psychopaths over there.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Yeah, I didn't realize how many people in other countries are like afraid to come over here because they think
they're going to get shot.
They think
just random. Some psychopath's going to come in. You know, you go into a store and you want to buy a chocolate bar or whatever, and the guy's just going to shoot you. You know.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Oh, I don't like it. You know.
Yeah.
It's just I mean that I heard that. That's another stereotype I heard growing up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So that's
I was always smart enough to think, nah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're not all gun obsessed, no.
No. So yeah, there you go. That's what I meant to say. You're not all unobsessed. You don't want to. And this next one.
The next stereotype is that Americans are all racists.
So you're all obsessed with guns and you're all racist. That's why do people want to come here?
These are horrible stereotypes. Like what were the British stereotypes? Like
drinking tea,
no.
bad food.
They all drink a lot of tea.
It's all very polite stereotypes. These are just like
oh yeah, no, it was. One of them was like, oh, they're very polite.
Very polite.
The American stereotypes are like, oh, they're all obsessed with guns and they're all a bunch of racists. Jeez.
I mean, that's obviously not true. You know, I mean, there are some. I mean, there's some in Britain. There's racists all over the world. America's always had that problem with it because of the whole segregation in the 1950s and 60s and stuff. You know, the Rosa Parks thing and everything, and the South and the Civil War, and all that kind of thing. So, you know, and this door is white only, coloreds in rear, you know, like we're looking at this photo of like a restaurant in Maryland in 1948. Yeah. You know, and it was a long time ago that would you never get away with that now. No. I mean, even if you went like to the deep, deep South in like a tiny town and someone said, I've got my sign up that says whites only. Yeah. You'd just be like, what in the name of sanity? You know, are you insane? Yeah. You know? The next one?
The next one, it looks like it's the last one.
The last one.
And again, it's a really pleasant one. Yeah. And it's that Americans are all arrogant and inconsiderate.
So you're all arrogant and inconsiderate. You're all racist and you're all obsessed with guns. What a pleasant.
We only like our country.
And you're all patriotic.
Yeah. We're super patriotic. We hate everywhere else.
And, you know, that's why I moved here, because everyone's arrogant and inconsiderate. They're all racists, and they're all obsessed with guns, and all patriots. I love it here. Love it! No, but it's obviously not true. I mean, of course there are some who come in and are all like, you know, and it's just like, you know, they just come in and they're all like, yeah, America's great, oh, yeah, you know. It's just like that. That's a stereotype of like, it's been kind of proven by a couple of tourists who have never been out of the country before and think, oh yeah, you know, everything's better in America.
Yeah,
like,
what's the thing?
Why didn't you bloody stay there then?
What's the thing like? oh, we won the war for you.
Oh, God, yeah,
you
here we
know,
go.
it kind of goes with that type of
Yes.
thing. Like, oh, we think that we're, yeah. I mean, it's not true. There are some people like that, of course, but overall, it's not true.
I mean, thankfully, I haven't met too many of them, or even like one. I mean, it's mostly tourists, unfortunately.
But yeah, this article on the insider.com says, according to several of my British friends, this stereotype exists in large part because there are some U.S. tourists who expect others to follow our beliefs, customs, and even speak our language while we're in other countries. When this doesn't happen, they say these Americans can become outraged or insulted.
Well, they're just freaking idiots, aren't they? That's just isolated cases, really. It's just like, if someone's coming in and goes, oh, you should be speaking English, what the crap, you know?
Yeah.
This guy, I'm in France, and this guy won't speak English to me. What's going on here, you know?
Yeah.
It's like British people do that, too.
Yeah.
I've seen British people go on a British bulldog and say, yeah, for the empire, innit, Tommy? It's just like, F off.
I think that I think that we can be arrogant sometimes as a country, as a whole. Inconsiderate. I don't know what they're trying to say about people there.
I don't know. I found a lot of people considerate over here and, helpful, help me out. And, polite.
We open doors
for people and say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. But this is just Texas. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you could go to California and you could be rude, condescending racists obsessed with guns.
Hey, we have a lot of friends in California.
Do we? Are they racists?
A lot of Instagram friends in California.
Yeah, we do. No.
We love California.
We love California. We're going to come over there and we're going to live the hippie life. But yes.
But yeah, so it's about like the British stereotypes.
Yes, I mean, like, it's half and half.
Depends
not true,
on who you know.
It depends on who you know. If you know a racist, call this number.
Oh, jeez. Okay, well, if you are offended and or triggered by this podcast, please send your hate mail to Dominic and not me. Please
let us know if you're triggered.
Please send your hate mail to Dominic's attention.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Care of Dominic. It's that damn limey tunesmith again.
Oh my god. Okay, and do all the things, and we love you, and goodbye.
We love you. Goodbye. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.